Welcome to the Communication Diva Podcast, episode 103. In this episode, dear listener, Jen brings good news. You don't have to do it all. How many of us feel caught between all the roles we play? Work, school, family, so many other expectations and commitments that pull us in different directions. Life seems to move at a faster and faster pace, and many of us struggle to catch up, never mind feeling like we're getting ahead. Wouldn't it be great to give ourselves permission to not have to do it all? Yes, I can see the way forward now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to relinquish the feeling I have to do it all. I'm going to put one of those responsibilities down. Not forever, just for a while, until I can create a bit more balance in my life. Even as I think about not doing it, I can feel the weight lifting from my shoulders. The sky seems a little brighter, my steps a little lighter. From now on, until further notice, I am giving up personal hygiene. Thanks, Jen.
Hey there, welcome to the Communication Diva Podcast, the show that helps you to get the job, love your work, and advance your career through better, deeper, and more meaningful conversation. I'm glad you're joining me. I was driving somewhere the other day thinking about what I might share with you this week, which happens fairly often. I do have a list of people that I'm going to be bringing in as guests in the near future, but lining everybody up seems to be a bit of a feat right now with all that's going on and the time of year. But so I was driving along thinking of what it was I wanted to share with you this week, when all of a sudden this phrase popped into my head like some kind of divine inspiration. And I thought, aha, that's what I'm going to talk about. And then I burst out laughing because it seemed suspiciously like a message to myself, which it just might be. In any case, the phrase that I want to share with you this week goes like this: you don't have to do it all, but you do have to do what matters. You don't have to do it all, but you do have to do what matters. And as I drove, I continued to think about this, and I realized that this is true in the workplace and at home. And then I began to wonder, what does matter? And what doesn't matter? And how do I decide which is which? So today what I want to explore a little is this topic of not having to do it all, but having to do what actually matters. And I'm recording this, as I said, in late November. It's November 24th to be exact, which is Thanksgiving Day for our American friends. So happy Thanksgiving. We had our Canadian Thanksgiving back in October. And what that means is in only a very few short weeks, we are at December 25th. And regardless of what holiday you happen to be celebrating, it seems to be a busy time for people, a busy time for many people. And I wanted to talk about how not to burn yourself out during busy times like these. There are other busy times in the year too. So any time that might feel like a busy time in general, how do you choose priorities? How do you choose priorities at work and at home? And how do you balance between the two? If you're like me, you set high expectations and then you try to meet them. And if you're like me, you nearly burn yourself out doing that. Can anybody relate? Can you relate to that at all? Others might also be putting expectations on you, some of which are fair and some of which are not. So how do you use your assertive skills, and how do you set limits and boundaries that are healthy so that you stay healthy and don't get overly stressed or even sick? I know for myself what happens sometimes is I go, and then my body says, uh-oh, Jen, You've just gone too far, time to stop. And it makes me stop, either with a whopper of a cold or a flu or, some kind of sheer exhaustion. Something just will make my body stop. And that's usually a major signal that I'm doing way too much. What happens if you realize at some point in the middle of the mayhem that something has to give? Either your body is telling you, or your stress level is such that, you can feel tension everywhere. How will you know when something has to give, when you have to set some priorities and set some boundaries? How will you choose what you can let go of? These are all questions that were swirling around in my mind as I was driving. And yes, I was paying attention to the road, but these were things that were going on for me. And so I've come up with a few strategies that might be helpful for you, both at work and at home, for you to use when you are feeling overwhelmed by all the things that you have to do. So I'm going to jump right in. The first thing is to make a list. Now, I know that I personally always have about 16 lists going on the go at all times all over my house. So making a list is not a new or innovative thing. But categorizing the list is not something I'm really used to doing. I can, however, see how it would be useful to divide my list into items underneath the following categories. Write 3 headings on the sheet and write these things down. So the first thing is, what is vital? So my top of my list, what is vital? What absolutely has to be done or the world as we know it will stop turning. So what is vital? It might even be something that's urgent. Number 2, what is important? What needs to be done but isn't top priority or as urgent as the vital stuff but needs to get done? So what is important? And number 3, what would be nice to do if possible, if time allows, if space allows? So those are my 3 things. What is vital, what is important, and what would be nice to do if possible. And I can use these categories from my lists at home too, especially when I'm getting ready for the holidays. What is absolutely vital? Well, I need to, if we're having turkey, I need to buy one, that kind of thing. What is important? Well, it would be important to wash the bathrooms and, get certain things in order. What would be nice to do if possible? It would be really nice to have little table favors at all the place settings for when people come, but that's not vital or important. So that kind of thing, that's an example off the top of my head that I can think of. If I can fit all of my list items under these categories, then I can begin to see what my day is going to look like. And you can do this at work as well. It's not just for at home. What are the absolute important, vital, urgent things that need to be done in my work day? What's important but doesn't have to be done immediately, and what would be nice to do if I get all this other stuff done? What can I do that would, further my day and make me feel like I've accomplished something? So you can use this at work and at home. Another strategy is to be fiercely conscious and protective of your time. That saying, time is money. Well, in reality, you can make more money, but you can never make more time. So how are you going to use your time? Are you batching your emails to read and respond to all at once at regular intervals throughout the day? Or are you stopping what you're doing and reading and responding to each email as it dings into your inbox? That's pretty inefficient. Batching and setting certain times for reading your emails it's kind of like exercise. It's one of those things we know we should all do, and not everybody does it. So try doing that, because that will save you some time. Are you taking too many social media breaks? Are you getting lost in the vortex of stories and hot topic news items that are coming in instead of getting productive? It's really fun to get lost in that stuff. I do it all the time, but it's really, really a waste of time. And what about meetings? Are there meetings that you could attend in a different way, or are there meetings you could skip altogether because someone else will be there and can pass you the information? This week, I managed to save literally 4 hours of driving by joining 2 different meetings via technology instead of being there in person. 4 hours. 4 hours of my life that I would have spent driving in my car from one town to the next to sit in an hour-long meeting that could be done equally as efficiently and well using FaceTime or Skype or just the plain old telephone. So I was amazed. I saved 4 hours. What can you do to streamline your day so that you make the most of your time and so that you waste very little of it on what might be known as time vampire behavior? So be fiercely conscious and protective of your time. My next point is about perfection and trying to achieve it. Stop it. Just stop it. Consciously seeking perfection is a painful, self-defeating proposition. Of course you want to do things well. Of course you want to be professional and deliver on time and meet your deadlines and show up and perform the way that you know you can. But being authentically who you are is way more important than being perfect, and sometimes more effective as well. Perfection and trying to achieve it is not a helpful goal. Take a look at that. Where am I trying to make something absolutely perfect? And sometimes it does matter. Sometimes if you're filling out a form and it needs to be absolutely error-free, if you're working on something that has to have that perfection, point to it, great. Then focus on that. But there will be other things that you're doing that don't have to be absolutely perfect. They might need to be good. They might even need to be great. But take a look to see where you are beating yourself up over perfection, because I know it's something I battle with, and I suspect there are lots of people out there that also have that streak in them. Another suggestion is to delegate. It doesn't all have to be on you, unless it does. And even then, there are ways to spread the love and enlist the help of others. If you can't delegate at work because of the role you're in, then find ways to get help at home. If there's more work than you know in your gut that you can handle responsibly, then maybe it's time to talk to your supervisor or your manager and to let them know that you're working to capacity and that you need some more help. Maybe there is more work than one person can humanly accomplish. So take a look at that. Delegate if you can. And if you can't delegate at work, are there things you can delegate at home? Is there someone else who can wash those dishes? Is there someone else who can take out that garbage? Is there someone else that can pick up things at the store on their way home? Where are some of the places that you can enlist help from your family and your friends if you need it? It's not a shameful thing to ask when you actually are, trying to keep your head above water, which is sometimes how it feels. So the key is here to work smarter, not necessarily longer or harder. Where can you enlist help and still fulfill what is expected of you in your role? And where can collaboration be useful? My next point is that more is not always better. This of course depends entirely on what it is we're talking about. More shortbread is always better, in my opinion, just saying. But sometimes we sacrifice quality for quantity. So where can you let go of something in your work life or in your home life and focus on making what's left of the highest quality? Can you set 3 goals for yourself at work today and then accomplish them? Instead of putting 12 things on your list, then beating yourself up at the end of the day for not getting them all done, start with 3. If you accomplish them, add 3 more. 3, for some reason, seems manageable to me. If you're not yet working and you're not looking, you're not at work because you're a job seeker and you're looking for a job, then do the same thing. What 3 things can you do today that will move you closer to getting the job that you want? So perhaps you need to research 3 companies that you're interested in working for. Maybe you have to write 3 cover letters. Maybe you have to tailor your resume to 3 different organizations so that the resume lines up with your job posting. Maybe you need to send or deliver 3 resumes. You'll feel like you've accomplished something at the end of the day if you start small. If you pick 3 things that need to get done and then do them. And then if you still have time, add 3 more. And that will help you to feel more satisfied and more like you have accomplished something instead of feeling like the monster of a relentless list will eat you in your sleep, which is what happens sometimes when I take a look at the list. And I just start new lists. So I have the old list and I've got almost everything crossed off, and then there's 2 things left on that list, and then I start another list. And it's not helpful to have literally 16 lists in my day timer. So start with 3 and see what happens. Take time to breathe. I should listen to my own advice, shouldn't I? Even if it's 10 minutes with your coffee or your tea in the morning, take 10 minutes to watch the sunrise. Sit with the small, empty moments and live into them. Follow your breathing in and out just for a little while. Be still and be open to what arises into that stillness, because new ideas might appear. New inspiration might come over you. I've lately been trying to take just 5, 10, sometimes it's even 15 minutes of sitting still in the morning with my coffee. I get all wrapped up in my couch blanket, my big fuzzy blanket that's on the couch, and I make sure I can look out a window, and I make sure I can see the world waking up with my coffee. I don't have a device in front of me. I don't have anything else in front of me. I have the warmth of the cup in my hand, and I have a few moments to just be before I have to launch in to what sometimes feels like the relentlessness of the day. I've realized that I've missed a lot of moments. I waste lots of them too. The older I get and the more people around me who are stricken with disease and health conditions, the more conscious I am of the moments when I'm missing what's important. So I'm giving you permission to not do it all. Do what you have to do. Do what matters most first. And podcast intro guy, personal hygiene does matter, I'm just saying. But do what matters first most, and then see what you have time to do after that. But don't shortchange yourself, because life is too short and too precious and too fleeting to have it all consumed with getting stuff done. Sit on the floor and play Lego with that little one of yours. Play cars. Play whatever your little one wants to play. Even if it's just for 15 minutes. Be present. Because that time of raising children just zips by, believe me. Pat the cat or the dog and decompress. Just take a few moments to enjoy that. Twirl around the room to your favorite song, or just sit and listen to your favorite song. Really listen to the words and the music. Make yourself something hot to drink and sit near a window and watch the world go by for a moment. Call someone you haven't talked to in a while. Ask a coworker how they're really doing and really listen to the answer instead of walking away while they say, fine, thanks, in that, automatic reflex response. Be present to yourself and to others, and know that we just can't do it all the time, but we can do what matters, and that's what really counts. So that's my message for today. I hope you found it helpful. I found it helpful just saying it out loud, because I know that I am very guilty of trying to do it all and being really disappointed in myself when I don't get it all done. So I hope this message is helpful for you. Share it with a friend if you found it to be helpful. And if you'd like to learn more about all the stuff that I have going on, head on over to communicationdiva.com. You'll find I've got blog articles there. I've got some online courses. I've got a free online course to help you get your resume ready. And I've also got a course that is for couples and communication. It's called Marriage Works, and it's meant for couples who are engaged and who are about to enter into a committed married relationship, but actually it would work for any couples who are struggling with communication topics. So that's up on the website under online courses, and that one is called Marriage Works. And it makes actually a really good wedding gift or Christmas gift for a couple that you know. And it's fully online. It's completely online, and you can do it from anywhere at any time. And once you purchase that, it is yours for as often and as long as you like. If you're looking for information on my book to help you succeed in the first 3 months of a new job, that's on the website as well. And lots more. I'd love to hear from you also. So if you want to leave me a comment or a voicemail, you can do that through communicationdiva.com as well. So thank you very much for listening. I'm Jen Swanson. I'm really glad you were here to spend this time with me. Until next time, take good care and remember to breathe.